Welcome back to a Deeper Dig conversation series, episode 34. This artist, I mean, let's just face it, I was 20 years old when I discovered this artist. And, just kind of seeing her growth, seeing her progress, and just kind of being intertwined with the same amount of people, I'm very, excited to have this one. This one feels long overdue, so I'm so happy to have you on, Avara. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me, Day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So we always like to do this first question, and I feel like this is such an important question just to ask. But how would you describe yourself as a person? For me, when I discovered your music when I was 20, I felt very in tune with your work, and that's just because you're able to capture this sense of light and energy felt within your work. And I'm interested in how you describe yourself.
Yeah. I feel like the people who know me would say I'm very goofy and silly and very warm. I feel like I'm a very bright, energetic person when I'm around people. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, how am I perceived? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think that I'm a very warm person. I'm also a very curious, excitable person. Like, I literally get excited over the smallest things. We could just see like a dog like outside, and I'd freak out probably. So, yeah, I'm very.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And now, fast forward, you're on tour, just New York, Atlanta, and it's for your software place to land. And so, one of the things I want to know is how has that been? How has just been exploring and getting to share your work out there?
Yeah, it's fucking magical, honestly. I feel like tour has been such a new experience. I've never done headline shows before. I think that, it feels like my work is like tangible. Like I feel like I'm feeling the tangibility of it for the first time ever. Meeting fans after the show, seeing people sing along to it in the front row every time. Like it's like I don't know, when you're on social media, like it doesn't feel real a lot of the time. Like the numbers, they don't feel real. So to be out here, to have people come up to me and tell me like how much the songs mean to them, it makes me want to just keep going and do more and be better. And yeah, I'm like, I'm translating this reality that I live into this art, and people are taking it into their reality. Like that's crazy. It's like the most rewarding feeling ever. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and just that whole concept of transparency, I feel like we don't have a lot of that, especially in the social media age. And just kind of how, like you mentioned, just having that feeling of in-person connection definitely goes a long way.
Yeah.
So I remember this was like a couple of months ago actually, but I gave my own introspective of a softer place to land.
Right.
Yeah, this was
it was beautiful.
a couple of months ago. Yeah. Got a little good pitch, got a little good story in there. But I felt like one of the things that I really emphasized with was just the whole concept of being still and being caught in reality, like being in tune with yourself. Like I felt like when I listened to the project, me personally, I felt like, and this might sound weird, but it actually makes sense. Like I felt all of my senses, like the whole concept of, touch, hearing, vision, everything. Like I felt that. But one of the things that I'm curious about is, since you're the one that made the project, the whole process of A Sovereign Place to Land, I'm curious on what was that process like and how did that come to be? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. Well, so I moved to LA a year and a half ago, and I had this project I'd been working on for 2.5 years, and I was like ready to like work on it and put it out. And then when I got to LA, I was meeting all these new people and doing all these sessions, and a lot of these people I was working with like consistently became some of my best friends. And I think like I found such a new meaning in music and in art, because I was like, wow, like I've been doing all this shit on my own for like years and years, and I've always felt alone in it, and to have these people come in and make me feel so like valued creatively, like it changed my entire perspective. And A Softer Place to Land is really about like community and like being around those kinds of people who like uplift you, and we all make each other feel so supported and valued. So A Softer Place to Land was like originally I was gonna put like 5 songs on it like that I liked from sessions that I did, and the more that like I thought about it, the more I wanted to be super intentional about it and make it feel like such a warm hug. Like that project to me feels like a warm hug, and it's about the community. So you know, I think the sounds that I create are like such a through line through it, you know, but I think that like it's so special because each person on each song like brings their own flavor to it, and it's like you can see this interaction between me and these other people, and you can see the vulnerability in all of it, you know. And I also think it's cool because there's so much like atmospheric elements in it that make you feel like you're in a certain environment or place. So
I want to lean on that word actually, community. I noticed that, like, particularly in the LA scene, the music community is really strong out there,
Yeah.
and just being connected with well known artists in the LA scene, particularly with like rising artists.
Yeah.
How has that been feeling? Like, I noticed that we have like mutuals, of course,
Yeah.
but also just being connected with them in real time and working with them in real time. And perfect opportunity for you to shout them out, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like a lot of the artists that I met when I moved to LA were people that I had already been fans of. And when I moved to LA, like I had no music out. Like I had like maybe 2-3 songs, but like nothing like crazy, you know? And I learned so much from them. And I think like every single person that I've worked with on that project has really inspired me to create a new way and to see things a new way. Should we?
And we're back. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, diving more into community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I realized that it's so much more fun to create with other people than to create alone. And what I make with one person isn't the same as what I make with another person. And there were like specific people in the community that I met, and they introduced me to other people. And I think a specific thing that like I was really looking for when I moved to LA was like a brown community, like a person of color community. And I had been seeing some of it on TikTok and like Instagram and stuff, and I was like, damn, I really want to see what this is about because I've never had anything like that. And I grew up in the South. I grew up in Georgia, so I felt like I didn't really belong anywhere, like ever, And so when I moved to LA, I felt so like seen, and like we all had the same values and we were all working towards the same thing, and we were all brown. Like I've never felt anything like it. So yeah, that like changed my life, honestly.
I do want to talk about that. She actually makes some very great transitions, but the brown community, that's something that I really was able to capture. Like Coad right now is definitely on the scene. Code on the scene, yeah. And then,
that's one of my best friends.
Yeah, him and then Dos, they do a really great job of highlighting that community. And so for you, what I want to know is how important is highlighting culture and showcasing that within your art?
Yeah, dude, it's so important. My whole mission is to be a representation for young brown girls everywhere who don't feel like they could do this as a career, and even as a producer, like to be on that like more techie side too. Like a lot of women in general don't feel like they can go down that path, and so I think like my favorite thing is when someone's like, oh, you inspired me to create this, like your production is cool. And that like, that's everything, But yeah, I mean, it was specifically the brown community in LA. Like there's, there's Code, Rehma, Akshara, Shreya Kal, Sayek, Jay Wolf, like all those people, like they're so inspiring, and they really like are some of the first to do it. And I think that South Asian culture is like so up right now in music, it's huge.
Yeah, and I want to close on this. Let's just say you have someone in the same shoes as you, but they don't know where to get started. They're trying to figure out like what will be the best stage, or what would be the best opportunity for them. What will be some advice that you have for them?
Someone who's just starting, you said.
Yes.
I feel like, I mean, you just got to get in there and create. Like don't let anyone's perceptions of what you should or shouldn't do stop you, Because I was told my whole life, you can't pursue this as a career. It's not realistic. You're not going to make any money. You're going to end up like broke, and, you're going to end up in like whatever. And I believed that for so long. And then I I went to a corporate job and I was fucking miserable. Like I was like, this can't be my life. And so I quit for 6 months and I was like, I'm just gonna make a beat every day. I'm just gonna, go on Logic. I don't even really know how to make beats. I'm just gonna put loops together. And it's as simple as that, right? Like just sitting down, putting 2 loops together, a drum loop and like a piano loop or something. That leads into maybe trying some stuff on the keys or maybe trying some stuff on the guitar or doing some fun stuff with your vocals. Like look at it as a playground, music, the creation of music, it's a playground. If you see it any other way, if you see it because you think it's going to make you famous or you think it's going to make you a bunch of money, then you're doing it wrong. So I think just look at it as a playground. And my other piece of advice is learn from the people around you who are doing it. I learned so much from other producers, just watching them, just sitting there for hours, watching like what kind of plugins they put on there, how they process their vocals, all that stuff. So learn from other people around you and look at it as a playground.
I love that. And I think another thing about it too is like definitely patience.
Yeah.
Patience is such a major factor.
Huge.
Just having the opportunity of really acknowledging that things take time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure you already know, but to make any project or any body of work, to really have it stand out and to really feel like I'm not doing it for love or I'm not doing it for money or anything like that. I'm just doing it for, self, for progress, and just the flow of it. It takes time. It takes patience.
It takes time. And then you look back a year later and you're like, I came so far. I came so far. And you wouldn't even felt that. You can look at yourself last week and you're like, nothing changed. Look at yourself a year ago. You're like, whoa. A year ago, I never thought I'd even be on tour. I never thought that like people would even buy tickets. Like that's so crazy. But I do agree on patience. I think that like it's so easy, especially when you're starting out, to just feel like you need to like make the next best thing like immediately. And you don't realize how fucking long this shit takes. Like I've been singing since I was 5, I've been playing piano since I was 10. I've been producing since I was 20. So it's been a minute. It's been a fucking minute.
That's the beauty of it all. It's just creating. Avara, I mean, that's like I said previously backstage, this was long overdue. Just, I've been a massive fan of your work for a while, just kind of getting like the early glimpses of what music can be. And I say it here first, but I really do wholeheartedly believe that when we really look at music today and how it's going to be shifted from a more personal healing side of it, I think you're going to be one of the major people that are taking that at the forefront. So
thank you, Day. And I just also want to say like thank you for all the work you do to put culture on. I know this shit is not easy, and I'm sure you spend hours just looking for new music and just uplifting artists, especially newer developing artists. Like people need that. So the work you do is important.
Thank you, Avara, for joining on.
Yeah,
excited.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
She promised me the moon for sure.